All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I'm going to give all honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. We say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. And we say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai for the truth, knowledge, and wisdom. And we give double honors to our apostle elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feeds us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit of Payah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. 2022 years almost done. And it's definitely been the year of turn up, wars, rumors of wars, sedition, lots of moving and shaking when it comes to this thing, as we know as the Israelite thing, which is just a prophecy that's being, that's coming to pass in our lifetimes. The Lord is waking up the dry bones. The breath has been given. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is growing. So we're in the greatest time to be alive. All right, you can't put a price, or you can't put an excitement, or you can't put a certain level of excitement that we should have that it's the best that we've ever seen it for our sakes, man. The Lord has given us back our identity, and He's dealing with us on the spiritual level, which we haven't had in a long time. That's why you see this truth growing the way that it has, because Yahweh Shem Yahshua has willed it. All right. So let's jump right into it. I seen this story, and it's just more proof, especially you see all these things breaking down in the political sense, because you got to understand that's how the Lord makes moves. Because even if you read the book of Daniel, the Most High, with using Yahweh Shai, was working on the minds of kings. Okay. All right. The working on the minds of kings and moving dynasties into the way that he wants them. So we have to pay attention to these political movements, because the Lord even used Jake to come into rulership when you look in the Roman Empire. But this is Rome coming back all over again in the reincarnation. Okay, this is that beast with the wound that was healed. All right, so now you see the breakdown and the controversy and the fighting and the infighting. These things are to show you that Yahweh Shem Yahshua is breaking this place down, just like he broke down with the nation of Israel, Jeroboam and Rehoboam. That was a split. All right, that the Lord used that split to separate Jake, and then to what? Put them in bondage. All right. So it says these are conditions ripe for political violence. How close are we to U.S.? How close is the U.S. to civil war? See? So they're already putting it in the vibration. And once that civil war happens, you're going to have there's going to be a breakdown of society, just like the last civil war. They were going to war. They were killing each other. All right. The northern and the southern, the south, if you want to say that, they were fighting amongst each other, and it was brutal, man. So that can happen again. So this time is going to be on another type of level, because you're going to have a breakdown of society, and then you have to have a rebuilding of that society up again. All right. So ordo ab chaos is right in the mix. It says nearly half of Americans fear their country will erupt within the next decade. Ahead of the midterm elections this week, 3 expert analysts the depths of the crisis. Barbara F. Walters, judge will be assigned. Judges will be assassinated. Democrats will be jailed of bogus charges. Black churches and synagogues bombed. See? So this is what she's talking, man. They're talking like they're talking full gusto, breaking down of American society, if you want to say the least. Let's keep going. American political scientist and author of How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them, Viking. Americans are increasingly talking about civil war. In August, after the FBI raided Donald Trump's Florida home, Twitter references to civil war jumped 3,000%. Trump supporters immediately went online tweeting threats that a civil war would start if Trump was indicted. One account wrote, "Is it civil war o'clock yet?" Another said, "Get ready for an uprising." Lindsey Graham, a Republican senator from South Carolina, said that there would be riots in the streets if Trump was indicted or indicated. Trump himself predicted that terrible things are going to happen if the temperature wasn't brought down in the country. Perhaps most troubling, Americans on both sides of the political divide increasingly state that violence is justified. See? So we here. This is just the Lord is working on the minds of these Edomites and these other nations, because guess what? There is no solidarity, because the Lord said the heart of the king is in his hands. So he's willing it however he wants. But this is the breakdown, just like he was breaking down Israel politically, then physically. The Lord is breaking this place down. That's how the Lord works. He says his thoughts are not our thoughts. So this is how the Lord works his plans, man. It says, perhaps most troubling, Americans on both sides of the political divide increasingly state that violence is justified. In January 2022, 34% of Americans surveyed said that it was sometimes okay to use violence against the government. 7 months later, more than 40% said that they believed civil war was at least somewhat likely in the next 10 years. 2 years ago, no one was talking about a second American Civil War. Today, it is common. Are Americans' fears overblown? The most frequent question I get asked following my book, How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them, is whether a civil war could happen again in the U.S. Skeptics argue that America's government is too powerful for anyone to challenge. Others argue that the section will never happen because our country is no longer cleanly divided among geographical lines. Still, others simply cannot believe that America would start killing one another. Americans would start killing one another. This belief, however, are based on mistake ideas that a second war would look like the first. It will not. If a second civil war broke out in the U.S., it will be guerrilla war fought by multiple small militias spread around the country. Their targets will be civilians, mainly minority groups, opposed leaders, and federal employees. Judges will be assassinated. Democrats and modern Republicans will be jailed on bogus charges. Black churches and synagogues bombed, pedestrians picked off by snipers in city streets, and federal agents threatened with death should be enforced federal law. So they're talking chaos, man. They're talking chaos. That's the type of war that's coming. And you already see mass shootings on a regular. That's nothing. That's a weekend. That happens on a weekend like it's nothing, man. So when this thing starts increasing and you start seeing big violence come to these streets, it's going to be a guerrilla warfare, man. They're going to start, and then they're going to start putting that fear factor there. And that's all set up by the elites anyway. All right, because that ordo ab chaos is what their main goal is, to bring that chaos in a way that it's justified to bring in their need, which is the New World Order. And then you Jakes, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're a problem. That's why they're going to target your churches, your areas, and they're going to tie it into that supposed civil war. You know, but Esau is not, he's smart, man, because the Lord is putting that spirit on him. This is Isaiah 19:2. It says, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. See? So the Lord is going to put that's a civil war. That's already prophesied. So the Lord is going to make this come to pass, because why? That's how the Lord wants it. Just like when we fell by a civil breakdown. Jeroboam, Rehoboam, and then we fell each tribe or each kingdom fell into another kingdom's hands. All right. It was easier to take us out because we weren't at our full strength. All right. So the breakdown you see happening right now is the strength of Babylon being made feeble. OK, and I will set this. I see the Lord is doing this, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And what's counsel? Leadership, knowledge. Counsel is where you go see for guidance. OK. Counsel, the word there is
Strong's H 6098. Eitzah.
Counsel, advice, purpose. See, the purpose should be, there's no clear goal. They don't know what they want. There's no clear goal because now you got other nations that are coming up to that top spot. So Babylon won't be what? You won't have the comforts, the dainties, that status. Because if the dollar is not the world currency, the petrodollar, then that's going to take away that luxury that was here. All right, that money, that influx. There it says to advise, counsel, give counsel, purpose, device, plan. The plan shall fail. See? Advise, counsel. So it's failing, man. The Lord is taking away the plans of Egypt. Therefore, it says, destroy the plans thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So demonics. The left-hand side, that's why we tell through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that these warlocks and these witches, they know about this truth. And they cast spells and try to do different things to throw the spirit off, man. And that's happened in history. Let's get an example of that. Let's show you that this is nothing new that the Lord is using. This is the old weapon tactic. This is Judges 9. Let's go here. Let's go 9. And it says, let's go right here. Judges 1 and verse 9. And it says, or 9 and verse 23. And it says, and Yahweh sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. So the Lord can send spirits between leaders, man. So what do you think is going on with this Biden and Democrat, Republican? That's the Lord sending an evil spirit. That's why the Lord controls the left and the right. So there's nothing that the Lord does not control. He's sending those evil spirits in the minds of the modern day Egyptian, the modern day Babylonians. OK, and he's making that confusion right there because they're not having that solidarity. You can see that there's a spirit working, man. They don't have any idea where they're leading themselves. They still have the nostalgia of we're going to be on top. No, this is a breakdown and a judgment coming from the Lord. This is Isaiah 19 and verse 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and hath caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunk man staggered in his own vomit. That means they go this way, they fall, and this way they going. And then you got Biden, they just making fun of him worldwide, man. And that's not something we did. That's that man. Jakes didn't have no say in putting him in there. They voted, but that's not on a wide scale. He was put there. All right. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. You have an economical downturn, man. OK, so I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to bring out this quick point and to show you that, hey, they're already talking about it. It's already in the minds that this war and this coming civil war could be what? It could be ripe. And you see the types of that nationalist type of mentality is really what is supporting Trump. OK, so you're going to have these types of guerrilla warfare if it does break out, which it seems to be, because we've been experiencing those types of things, man, here and there. And all right. So there might be a silent war going on as we speak, and then it's going to come into a loud one. All right, so Lord willing, Zedify, I'm going to leave it there. And I say, call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak, Wadash. Till next time, I say, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak, Wadash. Until the next time, I say, Shalom. And as always, keep faith.